In this cauldron of fiery wills and burning competition, rivalries heat up quicker. This is an oval of stolen victories and crushed dreams, filled with volumes of unfinished business. Sooner or later, you all become rivals. With everyone fighting over one finish line, there's never enough glory to go around.
welcome back to PSI TV. This is your usual host, Andrew Cardinale, up in the booth. We're experiencing a couple of technical difficulties. We're going to go ahead and give you, as I move that down there, going to give you the race on one TV camera just for now. We're working on straightening a couple of things out. This wasn't going on when we started the broadcast, and it just started up. So we're going to try and work these couple of things out and be back for you, hopefully within just a couple of laps. Once again, we've got a couple of technical difficulties going on here in the booth. We're working on fixing them. We'll be right back, hopefully within just a couple of laps. If you see some skipping going on, that's kind of what we're trying to fix. So we'll be right back in just a few. Like I said, hopefully within a couple of laps. Once again, this is PSI TV. You're going to be watching the start of the Las Vegas Strong 190 here with All-Star Sim Racing at Charlotte. These guys are in their chase. This is race, I believe, 4 of their chase. This, I think, is the first elimination race for these guys. So a lot on the line tonight. We'll be right back as soon as we can. Again, experiencing some difficulties. David Cook is your pole sitter. Sorry, David Cook is your pole sitter. Just led the field to green, and now we'll give it to David Cook as he takes the field around here at Charlotte.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
Alright, hello and welcome to the Vegas Strong 190. We're still working on a couple of things out. We aren't totally perfect here on our end. We just want to make sure everything's straightened out. So we'll cover this caution real quick. See if we can't find where that was. Maybe one of the guys towards the back or something. Not sure. As you can see, though, David Cook has really taken off quite clearly. We'll see if we can't find this wreck just by cycling through cars. As you can see, all the TN Designs drivers will have the Vegas Strong paint schemes provided by TN Designs. Looks like maybe this wreck was with the 55 truck. That's Dale Island Jr. See if we can't figure out what happened to him. They were going 4 wide out of turn 2, and he just got shuffled out of that one quick. Take another look back at that. This is another angle here. What happened to the number 55 Hooters machine coming out of turn 2. Got almost 4 wide there with Cody Spiker. We'll see if we can't get an onboard shot of that. Bazemore, Jeremy Bazemore down there, barely missing that run, that one right there. Yeah, pretty hard hit there for Dale Allen Jr. It's going to hurt him for a good part of the race. See if we can't get just another look at it. This is on board with the number 55. We'll see just what happens. Yeah, so it looked like the 67 was up top in the wall. 00 was checking up for him, and they got 4 wide quick out of turn 2, and just nowhere to go for Dale Allen Jr. Tough break for him. We'll see him probably fixing up some damage here. Maybe parking it for the night. David Cook, though, still your leader. We'll be right back in just a few.
Alright, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
Once again, apologies for the lack of a broadcaster or commentator at the moment. Working on a couple of things. Things aren't going right over here in the booth. Looks like they're corrected for the most part. There's a couple of audio things we're dealing with, so we will be right back and Yeah, we'll be right back with the action.
Green flag, green flag. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Hey, wake up.
Alright, and we're finally back here, Charlotte, 30 laps in. Sincere apologies to everyone watching and to the league for that. It was totally unprecedented, but we're now back. Hopefully for good. Currently, the lineup's pretty messed up from where I left off, but we will take a second to get caught up here. Louis Robinette is your leader in the number 30. Following him is Chris Jennings in the number 88. We've seen him be a top contender week in, week out here. And in third place is the number 26, Jeremy Rittenberg. So to help us out, we have actually one of the drivers that was out in the field earlier on, Aiden Young. Hopefully you got a copy there, do you, bud?
I got you, big man.
Alright, that's what I like to hear. I'm going to do one thing with the audio real quick, and we'll be good to go. Alright. You got a copy, Aiden.
Got you.
Alright, I think we're going to go. Unfortunately, we've been having some technical difficulties tonight, but now that you're here, actually, it's perfect timing. We're all good for the rest of the evening. We're coming to the restart here. We've got Louis Robinette on point, Chris Jennings and Jeremy Rittenberg close behind. What can you tell us about the race so far?
It's just tire conservation mode pretty much here at the beginning of the race. But other than that, the trucks feel really well. They're just a little bit on the tighter side. Just gotta get used to the handling.
Yeah, I tell you what, as a fellow driver here on iRacing, I really enjoy this place. Have a lot of fun playing around in the air with the trucks here at Charlotte. Um, in my opinion, one of the better races you can get on iRacing. One when you have the right group of guys. And here we see Jeremy Rittenberg showing some muscle, getting to the lead quick there.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys out here that are showing some good muscle and speed. It's just so hard to pass you without sliding up into them.
Well, you've probably had the best idea of anyone so far. What can you tell us about like who you expect to probably take charge of this thing, take the win overall? I mean, the viewers have been able to see the battles go on, or at least most of the battles up front. I've actually been away trying to deal with a couple of things, trying to fix this stream. And who do you see as really one of the top contenders tonight?
It's just really hard to tell because, everyone's pretty much even out there at the moment. It's just so hard to tell this a little bit early in the race, so it's really hard to tell at this point.
All right, well, real quick, we're going to bring Jimmy North up to the booth. Looks like he was involved in an early wreck, and we're going to see if we can't get a word with him. Jimmy North, do you have a copy?
Hey guys, I'm here.
Hey Jimmy, so we've been having some technical difficulties. Personally, I didn't get to see your wreck as I was trying to fix things up on my end, but what can you tell us about what happened out there to you tonight?
Well, from what I could see, I wasn't too sure until I went back and looked at the replay. Looks like the 88 got into the leader. I think he's, the 49, David Cook. Spun him out, and then they both straightened up, and then everybody, like Jeff Gilmore and a couple of guys started checking up. So, naturally, I kept going. I should have slowed down a little bit more, but we got collected in it. Definitely doesn't help with the hopes for the chase. This is definitely not good.
Yeah, I believe this week coming in is your first cut week over here in the ASSR chase. It's certainly not going to help, but we'll take a look at the points here once we let you go. Update the viewers on what's going on. Oh, we have a wreck down the front straight away. We'll catch up with you later, Jimmy.
Sounds good.
Just as we were interviewing Jimmy North there was a pretty hard wreck there with Cody Spiker involved and some others. We're going to see if we can't take a look at that. What do you think happened there, Aiden?
It was through the tri-oval. It's just one of those things you might not be able to tell someone's on your inside, and it's really hard to judge how close you are to them, so that might be what happened.
We're going to go a couple of laps back here and right on board with Cody Spiker. Looks like, yeah, so here we'll have one lap to the wreck. Currently following Chris Jennings up top. We're going to go on board for the rest of this lap. See if we can't see exactly what happens. Look like Louis Robinette was the other main catalyst in that wreck. Definitely not what Cody Spiker's going to want to see. Thankfully, it's not dashing anyone's chase hopes, at least with these two. We'll see what happens as a result of the aftermath. Maybe went one lap too far back here, so we got one more lap, it looks like, until the wreck. So again, Aiden Young, you were out in the field earlier. You were driving the number 999 Vegas Strong and Pit Stop Insider truck. Thanks for coming up in the booth, helping us out. Aiden Young, hopefully you'll catch us for some more broadcasts. And here we're coming up to the wreck. Lee Robinette on the top side. Cody Spiker looking to get by on the bottom. Just a little bit of contact there. And they went around. And wow, that was a big wheelie, really, for the number 19. Oh, and we've got another TN Designs truck involved in that. See if we can't get another look at that. Looks like Matthew Miller was involved as Louis Robinette didn't lock it down, went right back up the track, and that flipped the both of them over. Looks like maybe Michael Sunick was involved as well. Actually, it looks like Michael Sunick slowed down in time, just barely.
Yeah, Michael just probably barely made it through there.
One more look here from Matthew Miller's perspective on the right front of his truck. This is going to be a wild ride, folks. That was really insane. I don't know how to describe that other than insane. That really was insane right there. Well, for station identification real quick, we're going to take a quick commercial, and we will be right back here at Pit Stop Insider TV. Welcome back. This is Pit Stop Insider TV. That was a quick commercial for the NMNTS Racing Series. We're coming to the green here this time by for the restart. Jeremy Bazemore on point, followed by, looks like Snake Eyes is what he goes by. That's Jeremy Rittenberg, the number 26. His brother Curtin Rittenberg in third. David Cook up top in fourth. And Ed Burrell, or sorry, no, very similar trucks, but that's Blake O'Connell down in fifth. So Aiden Young, this is kind of the custom here at PSI TV. I let the second guy in the booth take the restarts. Normally that's Michael Redding. He actually is probably the best at it in my opinion, but Aiden Young will give you a shot here. We'll let you commentate this restart.
Yeah, so we're coming down to the green here, and we'll see what happens here. It's going to be really hard to get position on the restart, but I'm guessing the outside line won't get too great of a start, but we'll see. And we're green again. Jeremy Bazemore gets the jump on. As they go into turn one, they look all pretty much single file for now.
It's like your mic is cutting a little bit there, Aiden Young. We're on board with the number 67 of Blake O'Connell. Las Vegas Strong logo on his hood. Here in about 10 laps, we're going to be taking 5 laps of silence for the victims and the families affected by the shooting in Las Vegas over the weekend. Really was just a horrible tragedy. Don't want to get into the politics of it too much, but it really was just a horrible tragedy. Very saddening to see it. Very hurtful to someone on the West Coast who claims that as part of their home territory. And that would be me. And, you know, everyone else I know out here just very, very deeply hurt by it. Sincere condolences go out to all the families affected by that. Yeah, just thankful that first responders got there, took care of the threat as quick as they could. Meanwhile, here in Charlotte, though, we're looking at the Vegas Strong truck, the number 67 of Blake O'Connell. I believe there were 5 in the field to start. A couple of them have been taken out. But we still got a couple running. Looks like Blake O'Connell and actually, yeah, and Cody Spiker are still out in the field. Unfortunately, it looks like Jeff Gilmore, Aiden Young, of course, up in the booth with us, and Matthew Miller are done for the night. Currently, though, on lap 45 of 126, this is a 190-mile race. It's the fourth race of the chase for these guys over here in All-Star Sim Racing. Aiden Young, you came in last week at Dover. How did the trucks feel there last week in that, I believe it was, 126-lap race?
Yeah, the trucks were just really tight at Dover. It was hard to make passes, and the tires were really a key there. You just couldn't keep the tires on the truck long enough to get any ground, but it was pretty much pit strategy, and luckily I had the right strategy. It came home with a third place.
Yeah, I did some practicing on my own. Took one of the DLR trucks over there. It was really tight for me. I didn't really enjoy it too much, to be honest, but I definitely love running here. This is one of my favorite tracks for the trucks. It's a lot of fun to play around in the air a little bit and really just have a nice time. So I am really jealous of these guys out here tonight, but currently we've got a showdown up front between kind of the classic All-Star Sim Racing guys. We've got Jeremy and Kurt Rittenberg leading the pack here, Jeremy Bazemore in tow. Really nice to see all three of these guys having a really strong run here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina.
Yeah, it's always good to see people having good runs. I like to have good runs here, but luckily it didn't happen tonight.
Yeah, but I tell you what, there's always next week. But again, thank you for coming up here helping us out. Definitely helps to have a second guy up in the booth with me.
Be my guest whenever you need it. I'll be here.
So starting at the completion of lap 56, which is in about 7 laps here. At the completion of lap 56, we'll go silent for 5 laps, once again in remembrance of those lost in Las Vegas over the weekend. I mean, there's not a whole lot else to say, really. I mean, it's so indescribable, so disgusting to see that kind of thing happen. But we learn from it and we move on as a country. It's the nice thing about America. We rebuild, we recover, and we never let it get the best of us. So once again, at the completion of lap 56, we'll go silent for 5 laps. That'll go right around lap 59, which is used basically to, I don't know the word for it, but basically because there were 59 lost in Las Vegas over the weekend. Hundreds more injured, but 59 lost, and so we'll take that lap of silence along with the 4 around it, really. And yeah, I just find it hard to find words to really describe it. It's just so disgusting. But back to the race for a moment. I'm getting ahead of myself here. It's lap 51. We just went on board with Jeremy Bazemore for a few laps. He's running 3rd, David Cook running 4th, Chris Jennings 5th, Blake O'Connell 6th, Michael Sunick 7th, Cody Spiker 8th, David Dahlberg 9th, and Doug McCollum will round out your top 10. Real quick, I want to give a nod to Ed Burrell. He's one of the classic guys here in All-Star Sim Racing, along with the 3 up front. But Ed Burrell recently had surgery. It's nice to see him making a recovery, already back on the track. He's got a nice paint scheme out there, provided by TN Designs. That's a Unta Brewing, I believe is how you say it. Unta Brewing truck. It's a little dinged up already. He's 15 laps behind, unfortunately, but nice to see him doing what he can with it. We'll see him probably pick it up in the coming weeks as he gets back into full swing. But nice to see him out here nonetheless, recovering from that surgery like we said. So get better as soon as you can here, Ed Burrell. And back up to the front real quick. We'll get just another quick little front rundown before we go silent for a few laps. Jeremy Rittenberg on point, Kurt Rittenberg in tow. Jeremy Bazemore in 3rd behind him. Then we go to David Cook and Chris Jennings. That's your top 5. Aiden, I'll let you take it away for the next 5.
Where were we? Then you got Chris Jennings in 6th, Michael Sunick in 7th, Cody Speecher in 8th.
We got a caution.
Alright, man, caution is out.
We will go silent for these 5 laps here in a moment. We'll take a quick look at that caution. It was, I believe, with the 34 and the 88. Am I mistaken there? It couldn't have been them. I'm not sure. We'll look real quick. Not sure where that was. We'll go silent for these next 5 laps once again in remembrance of the those lost in Las Vegas. There were 59 of them with hundreds more injured.
Green flag, green flag.
Welcome back. Again, that was to remember and honor those lost in Las Vegas, Nevada over the weekend, along with all of the families that were affected, all the concert goers that were injured at the Route 91 Country Music Festival. We're back, though, once again in remembrance of them. This is the Vegas Strong 190 presented by Pit Stop Insider TV. We are here in the fourth race of the All-Star Sim Racing Chase at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Jeremy Rittenberg so far taking the show. He's P1 in the number 26 Oliver Mobile Fleet Repair Toyota Tundra. Second place, that's Chris Jennings. He's been one of the favorites so far here with All-Star Sim Racing in the Manifold Truck Series. In third place, Kurt Rittenberg, kind of the other Rittenberg, if you will. He's in the number 00 truck. Fourth place, David Cook, then here at Bazemore in the number 1. Doug McCullum in the 33 will bring you up 6th. And Aiden, I'll let you take it away while I go search down the points from this series.
In 8th, you got Michael Sunick, and they're all battling right there, almost 3 wide. You got Cody Speaker in 9th. Round 8, your top 10 is Richard Fletcher. But you got a good battle between Michael Sunick and Jeremy Bazemore. They're running pretty hard, racing each other clean.
Alright, I managed to track down these points. And in just a second. Alright, here we go. So, we're going to go from the bottom up. So we'll start with the guys that are in cutoff spots. And I believe 4 get cut. Yeah, that makes sense. We have 12 drivers that came in the chase. 4 will be cut this round. Next round, 4 more will be cut. And that'll end after another 4 races. As we watch Chris Jennings here try and pursue the leader, Jeremy Rittenberg. Here are your standings coming in. Again, starting with 12th, that is Jeff Gilmore. He comes into this race a lot of points back, really 75 back of the leader. And it looks like even more, trying to find the points here, almost 50 back, 49 points back of the cut line. In 11th place, Jimmy McKee. He enters this race, it looks like 24 points behind the cut line, which is 8th position. 10th place, Jimmy North. We know he won't be able to make it, along with Jeff Gilmore. Jimmy North, we know he'll be cut, as he was involved in a wreck a little while ago. He comes into this race, it looks like 22 behind the cut line. And then things get interesting. Both Chris Jennings and Scott Brotherton are on the cut line, but Chris Jennings has a win. If I'm not mistaken, that gets you into the next round automatically. So, Chris Jennings is already in. That puts Scott Brotherton on the cut line, chasing down Doug McCullum. Doug McCullum has a 4-point gap over Scott Brotherton, which means Jimmy McKee, I believe he's still running, but he pretty much has to win if he wants to continue. And actually, he's not running, so it's just Doug McCullum? Yeah, it's Doug McCullum and Scott Brotherton currently battling for that final spot. Jeremy Bazemore leads the standings with 2,113 points. That's 9 more than second place Jeremy Rittenberg, who's currently leading. Mike Perry has 2,102 coming into this race. Pretty well safe. Matthew Cox as well, pretty well safe. And really, I mean, it really just comes down to Doug McCullum, Scott Brotherton, maybe David Dolliver if David Dolliver finishes far enough back. Don't see that one happening, though. David Dolliver currently running in 11th. I think as long as he finishes right around there, he's easily got the spot. It's a pretty big gap, actually, back to David Dolliver. Get the exact number. Back from David Dolliver. David Dolliver to Doug McCollum is a 6-point gap. Then back to Scott Brotherton is 4 more points, so 10 points overall. So Scott Brotherton currently needs to beat the 23 of David Dolliver, who we're looking at right now, by at least 10 positions, or 10 with some bonus points to get in on points. Obviously, he could go win the race and then be in. Doug McCollum really just has to be Scott Brotherton. That's all he has to do. So Scott Brotherton looking to just beat Doug McCollum right now. It comes down to those two coming into this race 4 points apart. So David Dolliver relatively safe. And as we go to Doug McCollum here, running in 7th position, he comes in plenty of positions ahead of... And actually, Scott Brotherton isn't even here, so consider him out. I was kind of missing that. I guess I'm a little slow on the uptake. So, Aiden, I believe that means we can confirm the next round, or the field for the next round of the chase here in the All-Star Sim Racing Manifold Truck Series, as we near 50 laps to go. We'll go back to the leader. That's still Jeremy Rittenberg on point. 4/10 ahead of Chris Jennings. They've checked out on the field by more than a second on Kurt Rittenberg. So we'll go ahead and give you the rundown of the 8 that we believe will make it in. First, Jeremy Bazemore. Second, Chris Jennings. Those two have wins so far. If this race keeps up for the next 52 laps and Jeremy Rittenberg takes the win, he will line up 3rd for the next round of the chase. Mike A. Perry would be coming in 4th. Matthew Cox 5th. And Kurt Rittenberg, David Dolliver, and Doug McCollum. Those would be your 8 for the next round, and I believe we go into Talladega next week, followed by Kansas, Martinsville, and Texas, I want to say. And the final round will be Phoenix and Homestead. So, Aiden, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, next week should be really interesting since we're going to Talladega. That's going to be one to watch, guys. I'll be there too, so it's going to be a really good race for me. I'm really good at restrictor plates.
And I'll tell you what, we just had a 3rd place position change. That's Joe Hudson moving up ahead of Kurt Rittenberg. So Kurt Rittenberg lost another position, but he's plenty well into the next round of the chase, rather. So he doesn't have a whole lot to worry about, really. It's just a matter of where you want to seat up, because we've got 3 guys that have wrecked, 1 that isn't here, that we're trying to make it into the next round. So it's pretty easy to say who the next 8 will be, but it'll definitely be a thriller next week at Talladega. Really looking forward to calling that. Hopefully we've got another guy up in the booth with me. But currently, Joe Hudson starting to leave these guys that are here battling for 4th. David Cook just took that position away from Kurt Rittenberg. Kurt Rittenberg on the downhill slide as we speak here. Michael Sunick now working on him. That would be for 5th position. And that's bringing Doug McCollum in 7th up into the battle. The next one to follow would be Cody Spiker. And then would be Jeremy Bazemore. Richard Fletcher is your 10th place car. That'll round out your top 10. He's the number 43. Not sure what the sponsor is there. But Jeremy Bazemore making a move on Cody Spiker down into turn 3. Looks like he'll get that relatively uncontested from Cody Spiker, the number 19. Actually, he slides up. Cody stays in it. Cody's going to clear him back. We saw Jeremy Bazemore try and make that pass. He's now falling back into the clutches of Richard Fletcher. We'll see what he can do with him. After Richard Fletcher is that number 23 truck of David Dolliver. And then 7 more seconds back, that's going to be Mike Payton, and he's the final truck on the lead lap. This field is really thinned out already. We're not even to lap 100 of 126. We've still got 46 to go. That means we're on about lap 80. Back up to the front here, Jeremy Rittenberg checking out on Chris Jennings by 8/10, almost 9 already. Joe Hudson's another 1.2 seconds back of Chris Jennings. And really, this is the best run we've seen Jeremy Rittenberg have. We're going to go ahead and crank it up here for the next few laps or so. We'll let you just listen to the sounds and see the sights of the All-Star Sim Racing Manifold Truck Series here at Charlotte Motor Speedway as we crank it up. And we're back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We saw some trouble there from the 67 getting in his pit box. We also saw Jeremy Bazemore make his way into the pit road. Green flag pit stops getting underway here as we just went crank it up mode for a little bit. Jeremy Rittenberg still your leader, but only by 2/10 now over Chris Jennings. We'll take a look at that battle real quick. The top three is definitely drawn near to each other. Joe Hudson also getting into this battle. He's just about a 1/10 off of Chris Jennings. Actually, now he's slowing down. Looks like maybe he's coming into pit. And he is. He's coming into pit. So this is really going to force the hand of the leaders, don't you think, Aiden?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see when the leaders will come down, since the third place truck just came down, so maybe they'll force them to have to come down to get 4 fresh tires.
Yeah, for sure. We'll watch here if the 88 or the 26 decides to peel off. Neither one do. David Cook is going to come down into the pit lane to get service. We see him in the number 49. Coming down pit road, 54 miles an hour down the pit lane. Joe Hudson on his way out, and Jeremy Rittenberg still leading Chris Jennings around this 1.5 mile speedway. We'll see if maybe this time Chris Jennings decides to take the undercut on Jeremy Rittenberg. Neither one going to come in out of turn 4, but Chris Jennings with a huge run down the front straightaway. Doesn't get the pass made just yet, but down into turn 1, he's going to have the advantage on Jeremy Rittenberg. Move the number 88 back into P1. Chris Jennings, new leader. So 33 laps to go here as we come around back to the start-finish line. I would not be surprised if this is when we see Jeremy Rittenberg come in. And what do you know, here he comes into the pit lane. Chris Jennings going at least one more lap. We see the Oliver Mobile Fleet Repair Toyota Tundra make his way into the pits. Looks like maybe David Dolliver doing the same. Back up front, that's Chris Jennings taking the helm of the lead here. Doug McCollum, Richard Fletcher have not pitted just yet. Everyone else has. David Dolliver going to take over P5, looking to come around and we get by the 26, Jeremy Rittenberg, but as we talk about that, Chris Jennings making his way down into the pits in the Exalta Chevrolet Silverado, locks up on entry, and now we'll make this slow hike down to his pit box as Doug McCullum will stay out to get a lap led here. He's your new leader in the Mountain Dew Chevrolet Silverado. R2-D2 Motorsports really making a name for themselves this week in Charlotte, making themselves look like a force to be reckoned with here on the 1.5 mile speedways, especially like Charlotte and Texas. Also, Kansas coming up after Talladega. Doug McCullum goes one more lap, going to put Ed Burrell another lap down. It looks like Richard Fletcher coming into the pits. So now Doug McCullum, the only one who has not pitted. Chris Jennings is still your leader. Or sorry, not your leader, but he'll be your leader when we cycle back around. He's in third place. He is the first driver of those who have pitted. See Richard Fletcher get into his pit box. Doug McCullum, I suspect, will be in, if not this time, then next time around. He's coming in now. So this will hand the lead back over to those guys that were leading just a moment ago. And actually, it's not going to be Chris Jennings on point. It's going to be Joe Hudson, who makes the undercut worth it, will take over the lead in the number 12 Valvoline Menards Chevrolet Silverado. It's a very sharp-looking truck out here, very bright, very easy to pick out of the field. So we see him out front, Jimmy North following behind, but he's 57 laps back. Second place is going to be David Cook. He isn't all that far back, really, it doesn't look like, but as the standings shake themselves out, it'll take a moment to tell for sure. As Joe Hudson will come around, he'll officially assume the lead now. Move him up into P1. He's going to put the number 09 one more lap down. Already 12 laps back. Make that 13. David Cook 4 seconds back of Joe Hudson. Chris Jennings another second back of him. Cody Spiker is going to be 4th. He's 6 seconds back of the leader. Jeremy Bazemore will assume 5th position, 7 seconds back. Looks like maybe a slow pit stop on the number 26 as he's now in pursuit of Jeremy Bazemore. He was the leader when this all started, really, and then we saw Chris R. Jennings get by him in the number 88. That was about the time that Joe Hudson decided to peel off and make the pit stop for himself. Then Chris Jennings and Jeremy Rittenberg followed suit. Not sure why Chris Jennings is so far ahead of Jeremy Rittenberg when they pitted about the same time, actually a couple laps apart, I believe. really interesting to see the number 26 so far back. What do you think happened there, Aiden?
Yeah, it looks like the whole field's spread out here, and everyone's just running their race, seeing who will pick up the win on strategy and stuff like that.
For now, the field is, like you said, pretty spread out. We don't have too many battles going on. We can see all the way back into 8th place. There's no one really battling aside from for 2nd and 3rd. That's going to be David Cook trying to hold that position from Chris Jennings. Chris Jennings with a move down underneath David Cook, down the back straightaway. He's going to take the position down into turn 3. David Cook knows he doesn't have the tires to compete, nor the truck, as we see some damage on the left front fender. Chris Jennings now into P2. He's going to be chasing down Joe Hudson, but from 4.5 seconds back, so it'll be interesting to see if he can make up that time in 25 laps. Otherwise, if we go green, it's looking like we're talking about Joe Hudson winning this Vegas Strong 190 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Joe Hudson may have also taken a 2-tire pit stop. There could be one way he got that far out. And we have a caution. If it wasn't just from the sheer fact of the undercut, Joe Hudson maybe took 2 tires, but that's not going to matter now. We've got a caution on the speedway. Do you see where it was, Aiden? Well, as we look for the caution, this will be our chance for our second round of station identification. Here at Pit Stop Insider, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Look for the caution. We've got 23 laps to go. These guys are coming in for pit stops now. We'll see if we can't find that replay for you.
In this cauldron of fiery wills and burning competition, rivalries heat up quicker. This is an oval of stolen victories and crushed dreams, filled with volumes of unfinished business. Sooner or later, you all become rivals. With everyone fighting over one finish line, there's never enough glory to go around.
Well, we were still unable to find the source of that caution. Not really sure what happened. We'll continue to look around. We've got it paused about where the caution came out. Looks like maybe Jeremy Bazemore actually could have been the source. Jeremy Bazemore for sure was the reason for the caution. Gets loose down into turns 1 and 2. He goes around, and that Haas Chevrolet does a quick 360, gathers it back up, and we'll continue on. No extra damage there. He is currently still on the lead lap, just a bit wounded from some earlier cautions, some earlier incidents. As currently your leader is now Jeremy Rittenberg once again. He'll be the leader over Joe Hudson, Chris Jennings, and David Cook. That's your top 4. Doug McCullum will be 5th with 20 laps to go.
Looks like this is going to get very interesting. It's down to a wire here, so everyone's going to be pushing real hard on this restart.
Yeah, for sure. This will be pretty much the money restart for these guys. It's going to come pretty much down to this one.
Yeah, to me it seems like Jeremy Rittenberg has a truck to beat here tonight. But we'll see here on this restart. If you don't get a good start, there's a bunch of fast trucks behind to pounce on him.
Well, as we come to the restart this time, we're going to take a quick look at what, pretty much exactly what Jeremy Rittenberg is going to see. We're going to go to the visor cam in the number 26 Oliver Mobile Fleet Repair Toyota Tundra. This is really a cool camera that NBC Sports and Fox Sports have brought to NASCAR recently. We've been seeing it pop up at least once a race since the summer. It's going to be nice to utilize it here. We're in the cockpit, seeing what Jeremy Rittenberg sees as we get the restart here. Pace car off. Waiting, and Jeremy Rittenberg will fire away. He's going to get the jump over Chris Jennings and Joe Hudson. Will clear Joe Hudson by the line. That's why he moved up there. Now we're going to go back. Jeremy Rittenberg out there by a mile already over Joe Hudson, who's already 7/10ths back, but as these guys get going, the draft is going to come into play. It's really going to help Joe Hudson get right back to him.
Yeah, it all depends here on how you push the truck. If you push it too hard, your tires are just going to go away and you're just going to push up, and the guy behind you is just going to pounce on you.
Already Joe Hudson right back to the tailgate of the number 26, Jeremy Rittenberg. This isn't for anything involving the chase other than a win. Jeremy Rittenberg would of course love to add a bonus point to the start of the second round of the chase. Joe Hudson looking low already. Down the front quad oval, he will take the inside line from Jeremy Rittenberg down into turn 1. Joe Hudson looking for it. He's looking and he's going to clear the number 26 of Jeremy Rittenberg. Jeremy Rittenberg going to fall back in line. Chris Jennings a little too far back to do anything at the moment. He's about 4/10ths behind these guys battling for first. Jeremy Rittenberg going to try and make a move here into turns 3 and 4. Doesn't get the nose down there to do it. No, he's going to have to fall back in line, try and salvage what he's got for that corner and get right back at it. We'll look on from the onboard camera aboard the number 88. And one thing
we'll
else, go ahead, Aiden.
Yeah, we'll see if that 26 maybe can get back to that two up in front of him. Maybe he might be able to use the chrome horn if he feels like it, if it's for the chase, but I doubt he might not be able to get to him. That leader's gone.
And one thing I want to bring up as we watch the onboard camera here, we've got kind of a wide FOV or field of view on that camera. The leader sees them a lot closer, or not the leader, the driver sees them as a lot closer, so that driver's going to be really on the wheel trying to get back to him. We were seeing such a wide field of view there just to show what's going on every time we go to that camera, so that's why it looks like maybe these guys were way ahead of Chris Jennings. Really, Chris Jennings is in there thinking he has the taste of victory in his mouth, so he's going to keep driving after these two, that being Jeremy Rittenberg and Doug McCullum. Doug McCullum's running 5th, and Joe Hudson, who is currently leading.
Yeah, this is going to come down to the wire. It looks like that 26 might be reeling the leader in just a little bit. So we'll see what goes on here. They might get really close.
Yeah, I've noticed throughout various C-Fix races here on iRacing this week, C-Fix being the truck series with fixed setups just like these guys are racing tonight. In my various C-Fix races already this week, I've noticed that really, if you just lay back for a couple of laps, get some air to the front end of the truck, get the downforce back on the front of the truck instead of being sucked up in that negative aero space, and just cool your tires down for a couple laps, you can mount another charge at the guy that you're chasing, and I think that's exactly what Jeremy Rittenberg is trying to do here, trying to assess what he's got to deal with to try and get that win back from Joe Hudson. Currently, Joe Hudson's going to go off and win this thing if Jeremy Rittenberg can't get to him if we don't get a caution. So I think he's just taking what he's learned in this race to try and fight Joe Hudson here. Again, if you just sit back and wait, cool your tires down, get some air back to the front end of the truck, cool that down, you can really mount another charge even if the tires are pretty worn. Another thing is that top lane may or may not come into effect here. I know practicing earlier, it looked like some guys were able to use it, some guys maybe not so able to use it. Looks like these guys really just keep into the bottom though, which is very interesting. That top lane is certainly a viable option and really no one's trying to use it.
Yeah, it might even be that Jeremy's just thinking that Joe might just push the truck too hard and he might be able to get back to him, but that Joe is like gone. He's a good distance of leeway if he makes a mistake, but you can close that distance in a hurry.
Now, as we watch these guys, we're going to do one more run through the field here, give you an idea of how these guys might finish or what some of the battles are as the laps wind down, and we'll get right back to the leaders. So, as we've covered Joe Hudson, Jeremy Rittenberg, Chris Jennings in the 12, 26, and 88 respectively, that's your top three as they lap Ed Burrell one more time. That's your top three currently. If we move back to fourth, that's Doug McCullum battling with Cody Spiker for fourth. Cody Spiker running fifth, and these guys have just taken off from the guys behind them by about a half a second, a little more. David Dolliber is the next truck we get to. He's in sixth. He's trying to chase those guys down. Maybe use some draft as they battle. Then in seventh, that's going to be Jeremy Bazemore. We saw him bring out the previous caution with a quick loop-to-loop. Kurt Rittenberg, we saw him really showing some muscle earlier, but maybe some damage hindering him. Now he's all the way back into 8th place, 5.5 seconds back in the leaders, 2/10 behind him. We've got Mike Payton in the number 08. He's looking to have a good run. We see Kurt Rittenberg actually trying to make the move on Jeremy Bazemore as we continue through the field. Rounding out your top 10, and the final car on the lead lap is going to be Richard Fletcher in the number 43 Horizon Toyota Tundra. If we move back, we've got Blake O'Connell 2 laps down in the number 67 Vegas Strong Chevrolet. He was putting on a good show earlier. Unfortunately, got the wall spun out a little while ago. David Cook going to be next up in the number 49. He's 2 laps back of Blake O'Connell, 4 laps back in the leaders. He's currently running 12th. Randy Roberts, 14 laps down in 13th. In the number 09 Chevrolet, he's getting lapped by the leaders right now. We've been covering Ed Burrell a little bit. Thankfully, he's starting to recover from his most recent surgery in that number 17 Untavir truck. Then back to 15th and 16th, we've got a couple of guys that are parked for the race. Michael Sunic, Mike Montesi. We've got a caution back on the speedway. That may end the race, actually. Looks like David Dolliber that time. So for the second time tonight through the quad oval, we see a truck make contact with the number 19, or maybe the other way around. And that sent David Dolliber around that time. We're going to get an onboard view from Cody Spiker, see if we can't see what happens here. Now, from a farther away view, it looks like maybe there was some net code. That time, it's hard to tell. We'll take one more look at it if we can. There was some net code involved, but I think they might have still made contact, and it's a real unfortunate event there for David Dolliver, but I think he'll continue, be it with damage or not. He's definitely going to keep going. He's got some heavy damage to the back end of that truck, the left rear mostly, but he'll at least be able to continue, and the good news is he won't be eliminated tonight. That's the biggest thing, really. Every chase driver that's here right now, still running, is in the next round. Now we see Chris Jennings maybe a little bit late there. I don't know if he's going to get a penalty or not. He faked out kind of the last second. But your top three will be staying out. Looks like we're going to get 1 or 2 laps of green here in just a moment. Blake O'Connell, your lucky dog. He'll go by the leaders this time. Of the drivers who pitted, we've got Cody Spiker down the pit lane. Looks like Jeremy Bazemore and possibly, not sure who that is behind them. Well, Aiden, as we get ready for, looks like maybe one final restart, who do you think is going to take this thing home?
It's gonna be really interesting. Honestly, if you're in the top 3, you probably have the best chance, but if one wrong move and have you guys wreck, maybe someone 4th or 5th might win. It all depends on the drivers.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it really depends on the laps left here. If we only have one, it's going to be real easy for Joe Hudson to time this restart right, get the jump on the 26 and the 88, and just power away to an easy win. If we get 2 laps to go, though, it's going to be a little bit different. We'll see what happens here. If the lights go off, we'll have 2. If the lights stay on, we'll have 1 for the restart. We'll watch the pace car lights. They are on, so we'll have 1 lap to go when we restart. That means we've got 2 laps to green. We'll have 1 lap to go for the restart. I think this is an easy win in the bag for Joe Hudson, unless maybe he misses a shift or some other issue happens. I don't think anyone's going to be able to beat him. It's going to be real easy for him to get out to that lead, like I said. He's in control of the restart, and it's going to be hard for Jeremy Rittenberg or Chris Jennings to get the move on him, but I think Chris Jennings will have the upper hand on Jeremy Rittenberg. It's going to be hard for Jeremy to see out the left side of his truck and time the restart right with Joe Hudson, so that's something that's going to come into play. Chris Jennings likely going to have a better view of the restart and be able to time it better. Likely be able to get that position from Jeremy Rittenberg. Also has the upper hand of the bottom lane. It's the shorter way around the track. Doug McCullum looking to defend that 5th position from Kurt Rittenberg. So your top 5 here, all ASSR regulars, really. Joe Hudson, Jeremy Rittenberg, Chris Jennings, Doug McCullum, and Kurt Rittenberg. So this will be a very interesting finish here. We're coming to 1 to green this time, I do believe.
Yeah, we might be coming to 1 to green here, so these drivers are going to be up on them wheels, maybe driving them trucks for the last lap.
Pace car lights just went off. That means we've got 1 lap to green. We're going to have 1 lap to go when we restart. Those guys would not have been lining up like that unless they were going to get one more shot. They were already doubled up on 2 to green. So this will be really a very interesting restart. I think that previous restart really was the money restart if you were going to win this race. It was up to Jeremy Rittenberg or Chris Jennings to take that spot. Joe Hudson ended up with it, so Joe Hudson going to have the easier restart of anyone here. It's going to be the easiest for him to just power away. He's got control of the restart, like we mentioned, and really he's got the optimal line, optimal restart, optimal everything. He's even got a clean truck. There's no chance of him, not being able to get up to speed here unless he misses a shift. That's going to be the only way anyone beats him, I think. So, coming through turns 3 and 4, we're going to take a quick gander over to another one of our cameras. It's only been used one other time tonight. Aiden Young, count us down to the restart.
Yeah, and we're about ready to go green, and then Joe hits the gas pedal, so
Green flag.
I don't think no one's going to catch up to him.
We see the field come around the quad oval. Jeremy Rittenberg easily slips into 2nd. He's going to maintain that position over Chris Jennings and Doug McCullum. Doug McCullum going to move into 3rd. Joe Hudson leading the way. He's going to take the win. Remember, it's white flag right here. Only half a lap to go. Jeremy Rittenberg in 2nd. Doug McCullum and Chris Jennings going to battle it out for 3rd. Chris Jennings on the bottom. Doug McCullum up top. Doug McCullum actually is going to end up taking 3rd place away. Looks like maybe the old tires on the 88 gave way. And Joe Hudson will win. Jeremy Rittenberg 2nd. Doug McCullum 3rd. We've got a wreck after the line there. So once again, Joe Hudson is your winner tonight of the Vegas Strong 190. He's going to come around at speed one more time just to make sure, I suppose. He's already won that thing. He can shut it down. So Joe Hudson, your winner here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. Can't say I'm surprised based on how that restart went down. It was a little bit surprising to see Jeremy Rittenberg be able to take that second spot from Chris Jennings. Looked like maybe Chris Jennings had a bit of a stutter on the restart. We'll see if we can't go back and get a look at that. Aiden Young, I'm going to let you line these guys up for interviews here. If you could just move them into the interview waiting booth as we take another look at that restart. So we'll be getting an interview here in a moment with the top three, and it looks like we'll also get Kurt Rittenberg. Actually, we'll get Chris Jennings in here. So we'll take a look back at this restart from the onboard camera on the number 88. Joe Hudson fired away right away. Jeremy Rittenberg was hanging just far enough back to be able to see that, and from there it was on pretty much. Doug McCullum got a jump on the 88 as well, was able to almost clear the 88 Chris Jennings out in turn 1, and from there Chris Jennings was playing catch-up. It looks like maybe his tires didn't stick in turns 3 and 4, and that's why he ended up losing that third position to Doug McCullum. We'll catch up with him first if we can't. If we can do so real quick, we'll get Chris Jennings up in here. Chris Jennings, this is Andrew up in the booth. You got a copy? Chris Jennings, this is Andrew up in the booth. You got a copy? Alright, well maybe he isn't at the mic right now. That's alright. Probably a little bit upset about the way that one went down there at the end, so we'll go ahead and drag. Well, it doesn't look like we have Doug McCullum in the mic, or on the mic tonight. So we'll go to Jeremy Rittenberg. Jeremy Rittenberg, this is Andrew up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, we're finally getting to talk to you after one of these events. Very nice to do so. Great job on your, looks like, second place run tonight. What can you tell us about the truck and the track based on those 126 laps you guys just endured?
Oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. I don't know, it was kind of weird. At one point, it kind of seemed like the tires were falling off, and then it's almost like they fell off. As they wore out a little bit, they kind of came back again. So, I don't know. It was just a fun race. It was a good time up front.
Yeah, it definitely looked like you had a lot of muscle tonight. Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised by your second place run there. You know, you were on the top for the restart, and I'm sure you know as well as I do, that's not maybe the best place to be when you're second place, because it's hard to see the leader when he goes. But great job there, being able to take second place from Chris Jennings. Looks like maybe he isn't at the mic right now. We tried to talk to him first. But anyone out there that you want to thank for your run tonight?
Well, of course, Oliver at first, and giving me enough to do this truck here, and of course all my teammates, Kurt, David, Doug, that we've been, talking back and forth, and I'm just trying to see what we could do to try to get at least one of our trucks up front. Tried to play a little strategy there at the end, and I had to take two to get track position back. Just didn't seem like enough. I just didn't have enough grip to keep up with Joe. He was really quick there at the end.
For sure. Well, once again, congratulations on the second place run. Nice to be talking to you after one of these events. I believe for the first time, really, on air. So we'll let you go and continue to enjoy that one with your team. For now, though, Aiden Young, I'll let you take over the interview with Kurt Rittenberg, who finished, it looks like fifth, sorry.
Kurt, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
So, you had a pretty good run tonight, coming in 4th or 5th? So, how'd the truck feel? How'd your race go tonight?
First part went really good until one of the cautions when we had that little spin out there. I tried stopping the car, but when people are right behind you, you don't want to slam on it too hard. And then just got into the front of them. Had a little bit of front end damage, and then wasn't the fastest on fresh tires. But when the tires wore off, I can actually keep up pace when, you know, about 15 laps into it. And then for some reason, I decided to hit the wall on the front stretch there, and that really slowed it way up. And I had enough time to, on one of the cautions, to have about a 33-second repair. And actually, after that, got 4 new tires and ran pretty good after that. And I can kind of keep up.
Yeah, it looked like you had a good, strong car. Well, congrats on your finish. Anyone you want to thank out there?
Good job, Joe. That's his first win here. He was really fast, and actually everybody that came out to race, the PSI guys for doing everything. Of course, all the admins, everybody at ASSR for putting everything on. Josh Oliver, Mobile Fleet Repair, that's actually putting all these races on for us, is great. Brotherton Imaging. Man, the list can keep going on, but yeah, everybody that's a big part of this, especially all the drivers that make this happen. We keep on getting a big field going on. So other than that, that's pretty much it. Hope I didn't forget nobody.
All right, well, Kurt Rittenberg, once more, congratulations on your run. We'll let you catch up with your team. And we'll try one more time with Chris Jennings. Chris Jennings, you got a copy? All right, well, it looks like he doesn't have a copy right now. We'll see if we can't talk to him next week. But for now, Joe Hudson, you just won the race. Joe, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you?
All right, well, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, but I think you're doing a lot better after going out there and winning the Vegas Strong 190 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the All-Star Sim Racing Manifold Truck Series. Boy, that's a mouthful, but man, how are you doing after that big win?
Oh, I'm really, really excited. That's my first ever win in the league, and so it was kind of nerve-wracking there at the end. You know, it's a sim, but we all still want to win, and to try to get that first one over with and out of the way is good. Thanks for everybody at ASSR, Bazemore, the Rittenbergs, Scott Brotherton. They have a great league. It's really, really growing. Thank you guys for broadcasting. It's a wonderful night. I wish we wouldn't have had those cautions. I was happy with about a 5-second lead there, but maybe it made for better TV.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely made for an interesting restart there at the end. You definitely did what you needed to do, though. You had the upper hand on the restart, and you definitely followed through. So, real quick, I believe I recognize your name from that Canadian Tire race. Weren't you in one of the real trucks?
Yeah, I'm fortunate. I have a full-time job here, and I live in Alabama, and we work in a race shop for some guys, and we partner up with Mike Harmon to do some NASCAR racing. And this year they funded me to go up there in a truck that really wasn't ready to go to the racetrack, but it was an opportunity that I'm 52 years old. Again, it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Even though the race didn't go the way I wanted, I can say I've ran a NASCAR race, and so all in all, it was pretty cool. But I just wish we'd have had a better piece when we got up there. But thank you for mentioning that.
All right, well, for sure, it's definitely awesome to be able to catch up with you about that. Maybe not what you wanted, but just congrats on being able to run in NASCAR. I think that's one of a lot of our dreams, really. So, congrats there. Even at 52, anything's possible. So, once more, congratulations on your win tonight here in the Manifold Truck Series. Is there anyone else that you want to thank for your win in your number 12 truck?
We just got a lot of guys that I'm relatively new to sim. I've raced all my life, but I've only been on iRacing for about a year, and I've had a lot of guys: Mike Kelly, Jimmy North, Joey Jatina, even the guys over in this league, Scott Brotherton, Jeremy Bazemore, Chris Jennings, they all race clean, and it's a lot of fun when you can go green flag racing. So, hats off, top shelf league here. Can't wait to race with them some more.
All right, well, for sure, once more, congratulations on that win. I'll let you go catch up with your team, and hopefully we can talk to you more in future races, bud.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Good job. See you next time.
All right, well, that was Joe Hudson, and it was nice to be able to catch up with him about that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, like he said, at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park up in Canada for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Austin Cindric walked away with that win. I think most people remember that race, if at all, for the move that Austin Cindric put on Kaz Gralla. But nonetheless, awesome for him to be able to get that opportunity. Like I said, I think all of us want to be able to do that at some point or another, so it's very awesome that he got the chance to do that up there with Mike Harmon Racing. Once more, congratulations to him and his team winning in the number 12 truck here at the All-Star Sim Racing Manifold Truck Series Vegas Strong 190 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. Aiden Young, got any final thoughts for us, bud?
It was just a great race all night. These guys did an awesome job. Wish I could have been there at the end, but it was fun being up here in the booth with you.
Well, for sure, and thanks for coming up, helping me out a little bit. Definitely was greatly appreciated, and tell you what, if I had to offer any final thoughts up myself, I think it would just be that Joe Hudson, did what he had to do there. He definitely showed a lot of muscle on the long run, catching those guys. He wasn't out there to begin with protecting. He caught them on the long run, then made the undercut to get the lead, and that short pit was the defining moment, I think, of tonight. I think that was the money stop for him. And then he nailed the last couple of restarts, did a great job. So congratulations, Joe Hudson. Definitely did a great job, like I said. Great job to the rest of the field. That was a lot of fun to watch. Apologies for the top of the show. We had some technical difficulties there, but we got them sorted out as soon as we could. Got back to commentating. Hopefully you join us back here next week at Talladega Super Speedway from Talladega, Alabama. That's definitely going to be one heck of a show. So hopefully you come back next week, and we will see you then. For now, though, this is Andrew Cardinale signing off for Pit Stop Insider TV. Hopefully you come back. Quick thanks to our sponsors, Pit Stop Insider, TN Design, Scott Brotherton Images, and Oliver Mobile Fleet Repair. And we will be back.